Fake questions, real answers. Stuff I want to talk about, but don't want to wait for you to ask me. Dear Colin, doesn't the Kyler Murray contract news perfectly sum up why he chose football over baseball? Yes, it does. Years ago when I lived in Manhattan Beach, I would go down on Saturday mornings, didn't work, get a cup of coffee, and I'd watch the surfers at the pier. And I've talked about this once before. There was almost like a business application to it. That as I was watching the best surfers, they were very choosy on the waves they would hop on. The better the surfer, the fewer the waves. And it makes me think a lot about life and about business. Be patient, but make sure you grab the right wave, because it will do a majority of the work for you, regardless of how good a surfer you are. Football is a bigger wave than baseball. I mean, Mike Trout's had one Subway commercial. Does Mookie Betts have any? Shohei Ohtani have any? You play football, you make so much money beyond the game because the sport has so much juice, such enormous TV ratings. Patrick Mahomes has over 15 companies he's making 6 or 7 figures on. It's not just that he can throw a football. It's that the NFL is the big wave. Let it carry you beyond the field. That's the difference. Minor league baseball, it's anonymous. Minor league football is college football. Sooners, everybody's watching. If you can choose baseball or football, and economics matter, brother, it ain't close. Kyler Murray proving that. Dear Colin, former Patriot Asante Samuel says, some players in New England were brainwashed by taking less in the Patriot way. What do you make of that? Whew, that's a saucy question. Thanks for asking. I don't think it's brainwashed because I don't believe the Patriots were a cult. It's called a commitment to winning. Yes, in New England, you maybe take a little less, not that much less. You're going to be hard coached. They're going to ask you to make some occasional sacrifices. Oh my. Most pro athletes live a life in which their parents have made sacrifices for them. Their girlfriends have made sacrifices. Maybe their wife and their kids have made sacrifices, all to elevate the professional athlete. It's okay if occasionally a professional athlete makes a sacrifice too. And in New England, you were guaranteed virtually to win your division, get a couple of home football games, end up at minimum in the AFC Championship, giving you lots of free marketing, promotion, and validity. The bottom line is, maybe you took less. It's a sacrifice. Look how many people sacrifice for pro athletes on their way to getting rich. Dear Colin, Kirby Smart just signed a 10-year, $112 million deal for Georgia. Lot of money, right? Great deal, right? Actually, it's not a great contract. First of all, $11 million a year now is what the Georgia football job pays. But 10 years? If you look at their recruiting, isn't it realistic to predict that Kirby Smart's going to win 1 or 2 more national championships in the next 6 years? By the end of this contract, he'll be wildly underpaid. What happens if we get an expanded college football playoff? We will, and the revenues explode. I don't believe in signing long contracts. The more talented you are, you want to get to the market sooner. 10 years? 2032? You're going to be surprised with players making $8-10 million a year in 2032. The coach may make $20 million a year. He could be making half of the top coaches. Sign shorter deals. Get back to negotiating. The more often, the better. Dear Colin, who's your hypocrite of the week? Right in my backyard, California Governor Gavin Newsom. I see this all the time. People want to enact change. They raise the fist in victory. and then they don't expect a reaction to it. Gavin Newsom was on the forefront nationally of creating the NIL, the name, image, likeness legislation we have now in college sports. Empower the athlete. We're going to make college football a pro model. All right, so UCLA said, yeah, just like the pros, we're going to upgrade to a better conference. That's what Stan Kroenke did. He was in St. Louis and said, I'm going to break this deal, and I'm going to go to Los Angeles and make 6 times as much annually than I do in St. Louis. History be damned. That's what UCLA said. Let's see. We can play Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, Iowa, huge brands, or Washington State and Oregon State. And let's be honest, nobody goes to those games. We're going to do the pro model. We're going to upgrade to more revenue. So Gavin Newsom, smug in creating the NIL, naive in thinking people wouldn't react to it. UCLA and USC are very much using a pro mindset. We're upgrading for revenue. That's what owners do in professional sports. Used to be, you can't leave your conference. These are allies. Texas Oklahoma said, I like the lettuce over in the South. And USC and UCLA said, we like playing Michigan and Wisconsin and Iowa more than Washington State. So Gavin Newsom, you wanted a pro model. This is the reaction to your pro model. And now you're upset with it? Dear Colin, who's the most underappreciated athlete in America this week? You know who it is? It's James Harden. James Harden looked in the mirror and said, I'm no longer a top 20 player. I'm going to take less. I want to win more. It's that kind of self-awareness I wish Kyrie Irving had or Russell Westbrook had. James Harden deserves props. Carmelo Anthony struggled with this for years. James Harden virtually overnight said, wow, I can't beat people off the dribble. Wow, I can't get 28 good shots a night. Embiid's a star. Tyrese Maxey is ascending. I'm going to take a big pay cut, hope for winning, and let the other guys make some bank. That kind of self-awareness quickly is really rare in the NBA. Good for James Harden. Listen, he's made a lot of money, but a lot of guys have. Coming to terms with your reality, going to the bathroom and staring into the mirror, it's hard for a league that is star-driven and often coddles the great scorers, which Harden is, or should I say, was.